Hey, everybody. See, is it on? We on? Are we on? Hey, everybody. This is a SOMIFA playoff game between the San Diego Chargers and the Indianapolis Colts. So, just getting a little bit of I thought I was getting a late start, but it looks like Paul was they're just waiting to kick off. But they had done the post of the game ID as a edit, so I didn't notice it at first. I thought I might have missed the kickoff, but it looks like we're good to go. So it's going to be a battle between Jeff Winlet and Paul Mankiewicz, half man, half Mankiewicz. Let's see. Let me pull up the standings here. Paul is the number 8 seed or 9 seed. Houston, no, the 7 seed. So Paul's the 7th seed. Indy's a 10th seed. So it's a 9 and 7 team against the 10 and 6 team. Let me share this out in case anybody wants to join us live. So Jeff looking for Tom. He's looking for the number 1 broadcast team, and unfortunately, he's getting the number 2 broadcast team. So he's getting me as the play-by-play. So it's like hoping for Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, and you wind up with Kenny Albert or something. So here we go. There's the kickoff deep into the end zone, 8 yards deep, and it looks like Indy will take a knee and start at the 25. So again, let me share this out. I guess I should put it over here. We will leave the final broadcast there. So 4-3 defense for the Houston Texans. It's a screen left to David Johnson. Indy looking to get him involved in the passing game right away, and it's a 7-yard completion. Well, let's see. Let me see if I can do something here. Change the end zone. Texans. That looks good. How about the field center? Off tackle left, David Johnson picks up 5 yards. Oh, that's right. In the playoff leagues, for whatever reason, the end zones don't work as well, or the field centers don't. So anyway, we got the generic field. That'll work. 1st and 10 out to the 37. Rivers has an interesting card. Not your usual number of completions. Just see, let me get this posted up here. SOMIFA playoffs. I'll just post the live broadcast link on this thread. Okay, so that was a 1-yard pickup thanks to the defensive end tackle of Julius Peppers, who's a 4 against the 4 wide die. Pitch out right to David Johnson. There's a man in the zone. 6 tied in there to lead the way, and it's on the offensive card +6. Guess strong, so it'll be 3rd and 3. That's a dangerous offensive team. With Rivers' card, like I was saying, what I was attempting to say before, it's got a little bit more interceptions on it than you expect from a Phillip Rivers card. Straight pick on short pass and on long pass. But if you can get him guessed wrong, and David Johnson will get you some guessed wrong attempts, he can be quite effective. Curl to Sterling Shepard. David Johnson being double teamed, so he's guarded by a 4. It's on Rivers' card +5. Or 5 roll for +11. So 1st down and 10 into Texan territory. Double tight end offense for the Colts. Jermaine Gresham and the excellent Travis Kelce. Pitch out left to David Johnson. So he's pounding on the ground. Picks up the 12 yards on the 8. He's got Paul's got 2 defensive ends that are rated 4. So that's going to be where he's focusing his attack, because his defensive tackles are 6, K1 Short and Fletcher Cox, two of the best defensive tackles, both on the same team. 1st and 10 down to the Texans 33. And Tom was mentioning before, and when we were talking, I think on his broadcast of the mini playoff game, so 1-yard pickup there is the aforementioned K1 Short makes the tackle. But Jeff's called a really good defensive game. If you look at the stats, he's like number 1 defense in SOMIFA this year, which is pretty impressive. So if he can generate enough offense with Rivers and David Johnson and avoid the turnovers, he could be looking at advancing into the next round. 2nd and 9 now. It's a quick slant to Jermaine Gresham. There's a 6th linebacker there. So Paul's got pretty nice defense himself. It's a short game, though, on Rivers' card, and that picks up 19 yards, and he is in the red zone down to the 13. But Paul's got 2 6-rated pass defense, Brian Arakpo, who can bring the pass rush, as well as Dion Buchanan, who's a 6-0. So I wonder if he'll sub him out on goal line situations, slant to Travis Kelce, 4-man in zone. Guessed right. Defender X, incomplete or short gain, and he hit it, as Cam Chancellor's 5 was just short of the white die 6. So 2/3 of the time Cam would have made that play, but he fell short on this one, and it's 7-0 as Indy takes the opening kickoff down. Phillip Rivers was perfect on that drive, 4-4 for 50 yards, mixed in a nice complement of runs by David Johnson, and the Colts go up 7-0. The Texans will take over on their own 31 after a 28-yard return. 9:36 to go in the first quarter. Now the Texans have Drew Brees. He's been with Paul his entire SOMIFA career. He's complemented by Le'Veon Bell, who's one of the best halfbacks in the NFL. His card maybe not quite as good as you'd expect for a top-tier halfback, but still pretty darn good. Curl to Brandon Johnson, guessed right, 3-man in zone. Picks up 5 on a dump off. And look at Brees' card. You know, he's got completions 3 through 7, 10, and 12. Low interception chance. Jeff's linebackers go 6-6-4. So he's got Bobby Wagner as the middle linebacker, Sean Lee on the outside, and Josh Bynes as the 4-4-0, the fungible outside linebacker that you replace year to year. Off tackle left to Bell. Nobody in the zone, guessed wrong. Bell's got a little bit of a chunky card. Defensive tackle +5 or +36. And boom, there goes Bell after I told him he didn't have a great SOMIFA card. He doesn't need a great SOMIFA card on that one, because he takes advantage of Haloti Ngata and takes it down to the Colts 28. So the Texans looking to answer right back. Thanks to that big run by Le'Veon Bell. Another off tackle to Bell, this time to the other side. It's a defensive tackle 5 there. This time it's still a defensive tackle 4, but this time it was a blocking back +1 or -1, and Kyle Juszczyk made the play, but guess what? That only gets you 1 yard. That's the bailout. I call it the bailout 10 roll, because when you're playing a 4-3 defense, if it lands on a 10, no matter what, good call, bad call, indifferent call, that run's not going anywhere, with or without man in zone. 2nd and 9, screen left to Bell. 4-rated linebacker there. That's the hole in Jeff's defense. That whole side, 5-yard pickup. That whole side, you get the defensive tackle 4, defensive end 4, and outside linebacker 4. That's the area that Paul will be concentrating on, especially with Juszczyk as a great lead blocker, blocking back. He gets the blocking back 6, so he'll just be funneling runs over to this side and flat passes. Paul's offensive line's a little shaky. Donovan Smith is only a 4-2. Patrick Omame is a 4-0. Weston Richburg, a 4-7. You have a couple of 0 zeros over here, a 0-4 and a 0-3. So not the best blocking. Looking at Kyle Juszczyk, and there's nobody there. It'll be guessed right on the quarterback's card, though, because there's 5 men rushing, and that goes for 7. Be a first down. It was a key 3rd and 4. Paul was hoping to convert there to tie, to continue his drive to tie the game. He went after the 6, throwing at the 6. Jeff was looking to use that 6 to plug the zone with the 6 run rating of Wagner. First and 10 down to the 15. Witten is the tight end to go along with Juszczyk as those 2 offensive onside ends that will be providing the blocking. So look for Paul to do maybe more end runs than a usual team. That's because of all the 4s here. Square out left, Brandon Marshall. He is single covered, and there's a 4 linebacker there. And it's at 5, and that'll be 2nd and 5. That's the perfect place to have a 2nd and 5 right at the 10-yard line. You still have flat passes available. Gotta watch Jeff plugging, using the 3 safety to put 2 men in that zone with the 4. Call my run here. Look for good reading on the defensive cards with an end run. Or might shoot for the end zone. Crossing pass to Cooks. He does shoot for the end zone. 2 guys coming on the line of scrimmage, linebackers, but there was no call for a blitz. It was a 1X set up, bring up 3rd and 5. CJ Process might be coming into the game. Paul's got some good choices here, but Process is probably his best pass catcher, although he has no pass blocking. Stewart's got a 5. Theo Reddick's got a 5. Le'Veon Bell's a 0-4. So look for him to mix it up. Process can go deep, which is a good time to use him. And he's also maxed out flat, gas strong. So if he wants to shoot at the zone where he thinks the linebackers are going to be leaving the area, that might be worth doing. It's a 3-5 showing blitz. Jeff saying that he's a 0 pass blocker. He might be trying to press the issue, hoping to get the free safety matched up against him. Quincy Enunwa comes in as the 3rd wide receiver. Jared Cook's there at tight end now instead of Witten. Slightly better pass catcher, I believe. Okay, back again. So I missed out on Tom. If you're there, you can fill me in. But I had a network issue that bumped me off right as Paul was facing a 3rd and 5, and it looks like he missed the 3rd down, settled for a field goal, and now it's Suddenly, Houston has the ball back. So it was either an interception, turnover, a fumbled kickoff that resulted in the play. Let's look at let's turn on the show other highlights option and see if we can get a clue on what happened from the box score. 2nd down and 9. It was an interception. So Paul got an interception from Prince Umukamara, and that set up his great field position. So Rivers got picked. 2nd and 9 after the interception return. I'm not sure if Paul was going deep or what have you. Screen right to Le'Veon Bell, 6th linebacker there. But his normally covered linebacker has moved. So a receiver reading would have been guessed wrong, but instead it was a defender X +2 or +5. And of course, the defender had left his coverage to go double Brandon Marshall. So 3rd and 4 to 28. Houston looking to take advantage of that turnover. Check the broadcast, make sure we're good. Looks like we are. Let me see, I better take mine and present to everyone. There we go. So it's 3rd and 4, 2:42 to go in the first quarter. Slight glitch there. Uh-oh, I hope we're not having another glitch. No, there it goes. Inside run to Bell with a run call. Nobody is in the zone, but it's going to be guessed right on the halfback card. Offensive onside center +12 or +4. If he had stuffed a man in there, it would have been linebacker in zone +0 or +4, and Bobby Wagner would have made this stuff. So big 3rd down conversion there. Button hook to Le'Veon Bell. Nobody's in the zone, and the linebackers abandoned his coverage, so it'll be guessed wrong on the receiver reading, guessed right on the quarterback's card, picks up 5. So here we are again, 2nd and 5, kind of like we were a few minutes ago before the glitch. Breeze is 6 of 8 so far for 32 yards. Paul focusing on running and flat passing. We saw Bell break off that 36-yard run earlier. And Breeze has been very good at moving the ball, moving the chains. 2nd and 5, 1:30 to go in the quarter. Whidden and Cooks are sharing the tight end duties. Whidden's got a pretty good card too. Off tackle right to Bell. 0 run blocking offensive lineman against a 5 run defensive, but it's on the offensive cards, picks up 6, gets strong. So 1st and goal at the 5. Paul is just content to pound it away 4 or 5 yards at a time. That's the magic of Le'Veon Bell. He can break off the big runs, but he's more than happy to take you apart piece by piece, 5 yards at a time. One of Jeff's big advantages here is with this weak pass blocking. He's got a 4-9 Carlos Dunlap against a 0-4. And then the other offensive tackle is a 4-2, but the defensive end for Indy is only a 4-5. A lot of times, just like in the NFL, it comes down to matchups. You may have trouble with certain teams where other guys are just rolling through them. Bell so far has got 5 runs for 56 yards. But again, you take away that big 36-yard run earlier, it's four runs for 20 yards. 5 yards at a time, exactly. Off tackle left to Theo Riddick. Nobody's there, but it's going to be guessed right on the halfback card. Picks up 3. So that makes it 2nd and goal 2. Riddick's got minimum fumbles too, so it's a nice change of pace back to you can use so you don't waste Bell's carries on these short yardage situations. Even Mike Tolbert can run a little bit, but he's there for his blocking. But he's got pretty decent card guess right, guess wrong. If you try to key somebody, give it to Tolbert, let him slam it in on a linebacker off tackle. And of course, Brees could always throw short. Guess strong short is going to be nice for Brees. Second and goal at the 2. Pitch out left to Riddick. There's a man there. Oh no, there isn't somebody there. There's somebody there on the right side, not the left side. No, I'm sorry. There was somebody there. So one man in zone, -1. That would have been a 12-yard gain, of course, with nobody there. So it's going to be third and goal. That's the end of the first quarter. If Indy can hold them to another field goal, that would be huge. Let's look at this nice thing that Tom put together. Final stats, and that'll tell us a little bit more about these teams. Third and goal at the 3. Paul stays full house against the 4-3 showing blitz. Pitch out right to Bell. That's empty and guessed wrong and a touchdown. Even guessed right, that would have been a 3-yard pickup and a touchdown. He would have had to key Bell. So Paul cashes in the turnover. That'll make it 10-7 after Vinatieri pounds the extra point through. One of the few kickers now that is perfect on extra points. Phillip Rivers in the offense will go back to work. But here's the stats, and there's what we're looking at on the team defense. Indy's number 1 on total yards per game is what this is sorted by. And Paul's got to feel good about getting 10 points, early in this game. So we got 4-3 against a 2 tight end set. Pitch out right to David Johnson. Again, going after those 4 defensive ends. +2 or +7. That picks up 7. Jeff's pounding away at the weaknesses of Paul's defense. Like a good coach will. And a good defensive coach will then adjust. Hi. Do you have a class? No, I don't have class. Oh, okay. I'm just doing a conference call, but I can come back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had muted the microphone there. Had this room reserved, but somebody else was looking to do a impromptu meeting in here too. So it is 2nd and 10 now as Indy has advanced to the 37-yard line. Quick out right to Kelsey. Being double teamed. And still Rivers completes it for 7 yards. So that's what you want to do with this Rivers card is kind of flatten and go deep a little bit maybe if you get a lot of run calls or you get somebody moving the free safety up. Let's look at it. Still has that completion on 8 and 9 on a long pass. Pitch out right to Johnson. Getting a pass call. Blocking back +3 or -3. Patrick DeMarco makes the block. He had run on a blocking back for that 3rd down. Back to the 2 tight end set now. He's at 1st and 10 at the 47. Playoff games, you don't want to fall too far behind. You also don't want to panic if you have a couple bad breaks, which we saw the Colts have one of those. Johnson doing well, run the ball. 7 runs for 35 yards. 5.0 average. Slant to Travis Kelce. It's going to be a dump off and incomplete. Crossing pattern to Deshaun Jackson. Another dump off. This one goes for 5 yards. K1 short, putting the pressure on, but not enough to get a sack because he was faced up against Gabe Jackson. So we saw the weaknesses on Paul's offensive line. The strengths of the Colts offense lie somewhat in their pass blocking. We got Costanzo is a 6'5", Winters is a 4'7", Paredes is a 6'7", Gabe Jackson's a 5'7", and Ricky Wagner's a 4'7". So 7's all along the line. Crossing pattern to Jackson. And it's 12 yards and a first down. $10:30 to go in the half at Houston at the 36-yard line. Or Indy at the Houston 36-yard line. Quick slant to Kelce against the run call. Defender -1 or +3. It's incomplete. Chancellor's 5, matching the white die 5. 2nd and 10, just outside of field goal range. Their field goal kicker is good 2 through 10 out to the 32, but not very good from long range, so he needs some more yards. Third and 10 here. I missed that incompletion. Square out left to Brandon LaFell. It's a 5-yard pickup. That's in field goal range. Got to watch for the variable here, but he'll give it a shot to try to tie this game. 2 through 10 from the 32 in. The adjustment will make it bad on anything but 2 and 3, but it's good on an 8. So it's 10-10 as the Colts tie it up with the Texans. My animation's a little slow here. Let's see if we can just make sure we're on high performance, and we are. So we're good. 1st and 10 at the 25. Bomb to Brandon Cooks, being double teamed by a linebacker. 1 man in zone. Hey, sorry guys, I had to reboot my machine. So we're back in business now. I just need to get the game ID again. So I've had like horrible internet connections and I decided to go ahead and reboot because I think it might be something to do with my machine, but it could also just be the Wi-Fi of the area that I'm in. So we are still going. We'll go back and present to everyone. And here we go. So 10-10, square out left to Brandon Marshall, first and 10 at the 47. That picks up 5 yards. So it looks like the animation's back in gear. Hopefully we can get a stronger connection and we'll continue the game without technical incident. 4:30 to go in the half. Brandon Marshall and Brandon Cooks, the Brandon brothers, are the receivers for Breeze. Witten in there for a little bit of everything. You see him bringing Jared Cook on those short passes. He must have a little bit better short pass reception card. Inside the 10. Quick slant to Jason Witten. There's nobody there. Guessed right in the quarterback's card. Guessed our 0-minute zone on the D card. But you like to see that when coaches have that attention to detail, where they will swap out the 0-2 or 4-2 offensive tackle to a 0-3 or 0-4 on passing downs, just to give you that little bit extra. Of course, people can use that as tells as well, but generally, you know, you want to be able to put the best team you can on the field in those situations. Everybody knows you're passing on 3rd and 10, unless you're me and decide to run a line buck. But you know, give yourself the best chance to avoid a sack, get a successful play. 3rd and 2 now at the Indy 33. Texans looking to retake the lead. Off tackle right to Bell. 0-minute zone. Guess wrong. Up against a 5 defensive tackle, but it's the defensive end, -1 or +5, and Carlos Dunlap. So Paul's going after Jeff's weaknesses. Jeff's attacking Paul's weaknesses and shaping up to be a good playoff game. Bell 10 for 76 so far. 3:18 to go. Paul would love to use up as much time as possible and wind up in the end zone. More importantly are the points, of course. So he won't be afraid to throw it. Jeff's got those 6 linebackers funneling Paul to throw flats to the other one. This time it's a flat left to Kyle Juszczyk against the run call. 4 rated linebacker there. Hey, it's 0-minute or 1-minute zone receiver reading. Guessed wrong because the outside linebacker had moved and there was no defender. And it's a 40-yard catch. Look at Kyle Juszczyk go. Right or wrong, that was a 40-yarder. My, oh my. Huge play there for Drew Brees and the Texans. And Brees continues his fine day, 12 of 15 for 90 yards and a touchdown. Wow. Very nice. It was guessed wrong, of course, because he had called run, not because he had moved his man, but he had called run, looking to try to get Bell going around the end. It didn't matter, right or wrong. Kyle says, give me the ball. I go here and here and here and score. A return out to the 21-yard line, as now it is the Colts' turn to try to answer that drive. They still have 2:42 to go in the half. Look at the ball possessions chart. The Colts got the ball first, drove down and got a touchdown. Then they got the ball back after a field goal by the Texans, and Rivers threw a pick. The Texans cashed that in for a touchdown, and then we had a field goal drive by Indy, followed by a touchdown drive that we just saw. So we have 2:24 to go. Off tackle left to David Johnson. It's a fumble. It looks like Indy's got it back, though. The animation looks correct. David Johnson's guessed wrong run fumble rating is 10.6. And that means it's a 1% chance for a fumble, and there it happened. But he was able to recover it. One of his offensive linemen. Oh no, actually it was Phillip Rivers who had the recovery. So Johnny on the spot there for Phil. 2nd and 7. 2 minutes to go in the half. Indy goes 3 wide. Sterling Shepard's their third wide out. Although, no, I'm sorry. He usually starts him. I guess Brandon LaFell is really the extra wide out, but he's the one with more receptions or yardage. Offensive onside in +4, +0, and that picks up 4, thanks to the block of Travis Kelce, who had his run rating reduced from a 605, but that's still plenty good to get the job done. 3rd and 3. See, Sterling Shepard's still in there. So he probably has less catches than LaFell, but more hits is why we're seeing him in there, I'm guessing. Jeff could tell you for sure. Let's see, maybe he has a dot. Yeah, he has a dot, longest dot. So he's in there in case of a dump off, long gain, or something like that. Patrick DeMarco checks in as the blocking back. Crossing pattern to Deshaun. 3 minutes zone, guessed right. And is incomplete on a dump off. Travis Kelce couldn't haul it in. So 4th and 3, 145 left. Paul's going to get a chance to not only get the ball back, but with enough time to get some more points. And remember, the Texans get the ball first in the second half. 46-yard punt. Inside the 30. And it's a 9-yard return. Jamison Crowder on the return. So that's where the Texans will take over on their own 35. Let's see. Make sure the broadcast is still going. We got Nathan and Tom with us. Okay, just checking. I'm paranoid now about losing connection, so sorry, guys, if those dots messed you up. 3 wide for Paul as CJ Prosize comes in. Remember, he can go deep. It's covered by a 4. So you got Enunwa and Prosize covered by 4s. Marshall's covered by a 5, and Cooks is covered by a 5, as well as Jared Cook. Screen left to Prosize. Nobody's there. Could be a nice big play if it gets a receiver reading because it'll be guessed wrong. There it is, 13 yards. Gets him close to midfield. The linebacker that was assigned to coverage had gone off to double, leaving the flat empty. So 1st and 10 out to the Houston 48. The offense takes a timeout. 1:30 to go. Indy shifts to a 3-3-5. That means they have all 4s along the line. Maybe tempting Paul to run it. To use up more of the clock. Paul won't be afraid to run it. He runs a draw, but that's the cat and mouse there, guys. Went 3-3-5, got Paul to run it, then Paul called a draw, and then the defense called a key, or just called run against Bell. And that means that it showed up as maximum min in the zone or a key. So that was a 2-yard gain, and Paul was forced to use another timeout. At the 50 now, 2nd and 8. Jeff stays 3-3-5. Now, how are you going to respond to this? Maybe a flat pass call? Will he try to run it again? It is a screenplay to Lev Bell. Single cover by a 4. And it's a 3-yard gain, and he does not get out of bounds. 3rd and 5. Paul might go hurry up here. Nope, he just lets the time run, knowing he's facing a tough 3rd down. Part of what's made Jeff's defense so successful, along with the play calling, is those 6th-rated linebackers. 3 wide with pro size. Anunwa in the game to replace the second tight end. 1 timeout left for Houston. Job number 1 is picking up this first down. Quick out right to Jared Cook. Guest right, 6 rated linebacker against the pass is in the zone with a 5 strong safety covering Cook. And it's an interception split, which is incomplete. That'll be 4th and 5. So Jeff's defense held it to a 1-score game, and the Texans will punt. Breeze still having an excellent half, 14 of 18. A lot of ball control, a lot of West Coast offense, a lot of flat passes, and it's proving to be effective. It's gotten them the lead, also thanks to a couple of turnovers, or at least 1 turnover. And 37 seconds left. The Colts will take over at their own 10 with 3 timeouts left. It will be interesting to see how much pressure they put. He goes 3 wide. He also has a halfback that can go deep. David Johnson's one of the better ones in the set. He's got a 58-yard max, so you get him on a defender X roll. He's covered right now by a 6, but it's a pitch out left to Johnson. 2, it's a linebacker in the zone. He's looking to hit one of those big numbers on the edge to get him closer to field goal range. Instead, 6-yard pickup, 2nd and 4. Offense does take a timeout, looking to keep it alive in case he does hit one of those numbers on Johnson's card. So he might air it out. Remember, Rivers got the completion guessed right on 8 and 9. So if he wants to mix it up, thinking Paul might call run, he could do that. But Paul, I don't think is going to be calling run here. Not with all those 4s in the defensive backfield. He'll pull one back, call pass, and maybe blitz the linebackers, and he does curl to Brandon LaFell. Although they left the deep zones open. I mean, that could have been dangerous. Third and 4 now. So Vic Beasley's the guy who's been dropping down there. He's a 5'6", 11 with a 5 asterisk. That's pretty sweet. And then on the other side, Brian Arakpo, 6'6", 11. He's a 6'6", 12, 1. 6'6", 11 because of the formation.
Dennis, I think we lost you.
I'm here. I'm just talking to a plumber. I've got an estimate, a guy coming over to give me an estimate on a water heater. So we'll watch this last play real quick. And it's incomplete.
You want to take a few minutes? I'll take over and you come back?
Okay, thanks. Bye.
You to talk to the plumber?
Yeah, this has been kind of a scattershot broadcast with my internet connection issues, and then, the water heater's dying. The hot water's not coming on.
That's important. No, you're doing fine. Doing
okay.
Good.
2nd and 8 now.
It was,
yeah, 8 seconds left. He'll try to take a shot deep or go for another end run to Johnson. So, pretty good game so far. I mean, Jeff's defense is getting stretched by Breeze and Bell, which you'd expect. But if he's hanging in there. Squaring to Sean Jackson.
Well, yeah.
Looking for an edge on the 0-minute zone. Gets a short gain instead, and that'll take it down to 1 second left. He needs a 60-yard play here. It certainly changes.
60-yard play.
Yeah, draw it up. It certainly changes the end game a bit. I mean, I'm really happy we don't play with penalties, but when you're in this situation in previous years, there was always a chance of, throw it deep and get a pass interference penalty, or at least extend the half by a few plays. But that's no longer possible. This will be the last play of the half, no doubt about it.
My favorite was always going for the flat pass wrong, like 13-yard completion plus personal foul. Gets you into field goal range for like about a 49-yard field goal.
Exactly. I forgot about those. Yeah, and the clock stops. The half can't end on a defensive penalty. So those are always fun. So I think the coaches are doing a pretty good job mixing it up, and like I said, they're going at each other's weaknesses. So another square into Deshaun, hoping to get some magic. You get a receiver reading on Deshaun. I think he guessed wrong. He's like, well, he's not going to be guessed wrong. He's guessed right because he's got enough guys blitzing. But guessed wrong on a 4. If he would have used the outside linebackers to double team, it could have been juicy. But anyway, it's a long shot either way. So 2 more 15-minute quarters will decide who advances.
Almost 200 yards of offense for the Texans. I know you opened talking about the Colts defense. It's been a time stopping the Texans.
Yeah, if you look at their ball possession, let me pull up the fine SOMIFA stats document that you put together. I thought that was really nice. There it is.
Helps with postseason shows, and it's fun to look at to see where you rank in the league in those categories.
Yeah, and I was surprised. I mean, if you would have told me, "Hey, guess who led the league in defense?" I wouldn't have guessed Indy. I mean, I don't remember playing them. It just doesn't stick in your mind. But yeah, he's done a hell of a job this year on defense. So you sort this one by yards per game. His pass defense is number 3 in the league, and his run defense is number 10. That's the thing. Some of these good defenses will give up a little bit more run yardage since they're just letting guys run on them as they have big leads or whatever. But the yards per game, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, over 300, especially compared to the rest of the league.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to put these, you probably already have them, but to compare them year over year. Like, did this car set, did it make it, what kind of effects do we have on the yard per game? Is this the first time you've done this, or?
I've done it a couple of times before when I have done them. So there's not a year over year thing. I think it's something that when we first started doing the shows a couple of years ago, I did occasionally.
Nice.
And Jeff's back, so they're gonna resume.
Okay. And offensively, you see the Texans were a couple notches below Indy, so it's a little bit it's pretty impressive that Paul's put together. Like, if you look at the ball possession, like I was saying, both teams have controlled the ball. You see a lot of multiple, a lot of long drives, but field goal, touchdown. That was the first time Paul had to punt, was on that last drive, and he was close to field goal range on that one. So here we go. Really important for Paul to take this and get points, go up by two scores. That's going to be huge.
These teams are more middle of the pack offensively, 12 and 14 in yardage.
Right. They're certainly doing a good job today. Bell has 16 carries unfatigued left, so he's in no danger of being pulled out for a backup.
Both top 5 in defense.
Nice. He switches back and forth between his tight ends. And they're both 5 blockers. I wonder what it is. Quick in to Kyle Juszczyk. Picks up 11. Guessed wrong because he had moved the outside linebacker, Sean Lee, to the line of scrimmage, looking to plug one of those defensive end spots where he has 2 defensive end 4s. If he had left him home, it would have been incomplete. That shows you the kind of job that coaching can have on you. Yeah, there's times where it doesn't matter what you call, you wouldn't have had an effect on the result. But there are times, quite a few, where you can have a direct impact on what happens.
And not the first time Paul has thrown to Juszczyk.
And there's Le'Veon Bell.
A lot of people shy away because of the sticks.
Right. No, he's thrown at Bobby Wagner, thrown at Sean Lee. Paul's been not afraid to go after the flat passes because Breeze's card is so good that even if you as long as you land on the quarterback card, you're going to pick up 5 yards probably, and on most of those rolls, 5+.
It doesn't make it too easy for Jeff to blitz cover those fours.
Right, and he's not bringing Sean Lee down to rush the passer. He's bringing him down on a run blitz to stick that 5 run defender on this edge. Bomb to Brandon Cooks being double teamed by a linebacker. Sean Lee's all over the place. He's going in, he's going out. Let's see what kind of effect he can have on this play. And Paul's pass blocking isn't that great. But he does get a dump off to Witten, picks up 2.
You mentioned the pass blocking earlier. Now 3rd and 10. The big third down here. You think Jeff's going to come after him with some blitzing or safety blitz, or probably not?
He's shown blitz, but it's usually been inside the red zone. So let's see what he does here. He doesn't show blitz. I think he uses it as the last resort. But me, I'm very aggressive. If I see somebody has a 2 at defensive end, I'm coming after him. 2 and a 4 with a 3 at guard. Yeah, that's.
He did have 29 sacks in this season, which is pretty decent. It was about 5th or 6th in the league.
Nice. So let's see. He's playing it straight here, and Paul brings in Jared Cook as a blocking back. Curl to Brandon Marshall, single cover by a 6, and it's incomplete. So Breeze has had a really good day, but comes up short on that 3rd down. Let's look at the box score real quick. His 3rd down conversions right now, we're at 5 of 8. You can see that how few possessions they've had. Nice punt there as it rolls inside the 10. But Jeff's 67% on 3rd downs, 4 of 6. Paul's 63%, 5 of 8. So these guys are converting on 3rd downs, and that's what's leading to these long drives where you've only had 4 first half possessions. Okay, I got the plumber calling again, so take over for a play, Tom.
Sorry, guys. I was texting somebody. Dennis going to take care of the plumbing, so I'm filling this hopefully for a couple of minutes here.
I'm back.
There we go.
Screen right to Johnson on a run call. That's a nice 12-yard gain, even though there was linebackers in the zone, 2 of them, in fact. So that was one of those good on the D card, bad on the O card for the defensive standpoint. And Jeff's happy with that. He was able to hold on that first drive, force a punt, get the ball back. Now he needs to move it down and score. Rivers, 13 of 23. Hey, were you watching early in the game when he threw his pick? What was that on? Pitch out left to Johnson. Picks up 5.
I was listening. While wrapping up a game of League of Legends. So I heard the interception, but I don't know what it was on.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so here we go. 2nd and 5. And he's sticking with the 2 tight end offense, down and out to David Johnson, covered by a 5. Defender X or short gain. Gosh, those drive you nuts when you're on defense. I had my 5 there, and he got beat by a white die 6. But that's part of the game. 16-yard pickup there for Johnson. Vic Beasley, the mighty Vic, could not make the play. And you'll see Paul bring him quite a bit, being a 5'6", 12 with a 5 asterisk. That's a nice pass rush rating. especially when David Johnson's the focus of so many passes. If even though he's being covered by Vic, you could bring the free safety over for help. He's got a quick slant here to Jermaine Gresham. He's bringing him, but on the flat pass, not as many chances for a sack. Actually, there was a sack chance there, but it was Tyson Aluwalu up against Ricky Wagner, both 7s, and there was 0 chance of a sack. But, Jeff's going to have just about a great matchup and a great opportunity for dump-offs because of all the 7s. The only one that's good for Paul is that asterisk rusher against Johnson. It's a pitch out left of Johnson there, goes for 4 guessed wrong. So that's why you'll see, you have a guy like Vic Beasley, you're going to be bringing him a lot. But in this particular case, that really is Paul's only chance for a sack, unless he gets a bad roll, on one of these low percentage matchups. 3rd and 4 here, just past midfield, 2 tight end set. We saw Jeff bring in a fullback, in Patrick DeMarco, on those 3rd and shorts. This is just a little too far out. He doesn't want to tip his hand that he's going to run, so he stays with Gresham as the 2nd tight end instead of bringing in DeMarco. Man, if I had all those 7s, I'd be throwing short a lot more. Forget about the flat passes, man. Give me those dump offs. It's a pitch out right to Johnson. Guessed right, but it's a defensive card reading, offensive onside guard, +8 or +3. Gabe Jackson's 5 does the job, moves the chains. Now we're getting closer to field goal range. But Jeff's doing well with his running and focusing his offense around David Johnson. That's not a bad thing.
I told you that I feared Paul's team in the playoffs. It was a bad matchup for me. Is aided tremendously by his pass rush. One pass, David Johnson to Sean Jackson.
Yeah, that's doubled, but by a linebacker. So there's by the free safety. So there was 1 man in zone still.
But as you mentioned, Jeff has 4 7s up front, so he's better equipped to handle that pass rush than others. Are they still got to deal with the defensive tackle 6s and a couple of linebacker 6s?
Yeah, because even aside from the linebacker pass rush, he's got Julius Peppers is a 7, Fletcher Cox is an 8, Kawan Short is a 7. That's like a 70s line, a 70s defensive line where most of the pressure came from the front 4, and Paul's used those to great effect. 2nd and 10, pitch out to Johnson, guess right. Offensive onside in, +9 or +4, and Jermaine Gresham makes the block. What were you going to say, Tom?
And he's playing the left end 4-4 right now, Paul is, but he has a 0 with a good pass rush on the bench nice. that he plays sometimes.
It's 3rd and 1. He'll leave the 4 in there this time. And David Johnson's not bad, guess right. That's actually really good, really good. So runs, flats, even a short pass is in play here.
4 down territory, right?
Yeah, that pass rush has helped Paul to a 10-6 record despite having 2 4 cornerbacks. We both talked about how much of a point of emphasis we both had on trying to avoid that situation because you can get burnt deep. So maybe we'll see a bomb attempt here.
Chris Boswell 2-10 if he decides to kick a field goal.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get pushed back by the variable, because he's not very good. I think 2 to 3. Beyond that, it's a flat, short yardage defense. Button hook to David Johnson. It's going to be guessed wrong on a 1st down. Good old Phil Rivers. It's got a nice flat pass card, and that was the perfect time to go to it. So Jeff's also showing he's not afraid to throw it at 6, even though he was not there because of the short yardage defense. 1st and 21.
If you looked at Jeff's stats for the regular season, it was clear that he just ran a regular offense. He said, hey, when Rivers gets picked off, he gets picked off. I don't care. I'm going to run my regular offense. But you'd have to feel a little concerned here when you're trying to tie the game about throwing a short or long pass with Rivers' tendency to get picked off.
Yeah, you don't want to go all the way down here. That's heartbreaking. Go all the way down here and turn the ball over. Off tackle left to David Johnson. And there is a linebacker there. But it's a short gain. 19 yards for David Johnson, guessed wrong, and it's 1st and goal to 2. So now, especially, when you got a high interception quarterback, I think you did a little bit more towards just pounding it in. Give me 3 runs to Johnson or Dion Lewis, who's his other back.
Now, Jeff has to pay attention to Paul's defensive personnel here. The middle linebacker is a 0 against the run, but the free safety is a 46, and Paul knows that, and he will bring Cyprian up into the linebacker zone. So you might want to try and play tricky as Jeff and run him off tackle.
Yeah, and I was talking earlier how Paul usually pays attention to the details. I think I'd bring in Wesley Woodyard here and say, Dion, go back to the bench, and he does. Oh, no, nope, he left Dion in there. On my screen, it changed because I was looking at the subs. So here we go, inside run to Johnson. He brought the free safety, like you said, so he's a 6 there. Guessed right, -1. 2nd and goal at the 3. This might be one of those epic goal line stands.
Problem running off tackle is you got Arakpo and Von Miller, and then Von Miller's a 66. I think Arakpo is a 65 this year.
Right, but you're in the spot. There is absolutely no reason to have Deion Buchanan in the game, and I think he did.
Absolutely correct. You're right.
So there's Woodyard. I mean,
45. There you go.
Yeah, the only way that would ever come into play is if you use an outside linebacker to double team, and use Woodyard to double the tight end that he had coverage on in a 2 tight end offense. But that's not happening here. Slant Travis Kelce against the run call. This could be good for the offense, and it is. Kelce has one of those cards with completions on double teams, although that one was not one of the rolls. But it's up and good, and Boswell on to tie this game with 5:24 to go in the 3rd quarter. We got a good one here. You always love it when these playoff games come down to the last drive. And this certainly looks like it's heading that way. Nobody's been able to take control yet. Paul had the chance to go up 2 scores, but just could not make it happen. Here's the kick. It's up and is good. Both these kickers are perfect on extra points, and is 17-17, 5:24 to go in the quarter. And we don't see the coaches doing anything foolish, not trying to run it out to, deep in the end zone or anything like that to give up field position. So the Texans will start from the 25. See if they can match what they had going in the first half, where they put together 3 scoring drives in a row. They went field goal, touchdown before having to punt a couple times. So bomb to Brandon Cooks against the run call. Oh, covered by a 5 with a 5 free safety there. Receiver reading incomplete. That's a max receiver card deep, and he had lots of chances for big numbers. You love to see.
And not only the 7 long, like 4 plus 67. I love to see those. Those are very impressive when you see those.
Yeah, exactly. You get the plus 87 on 4, plus 98 on 2. So that tells you.
To Jeff for keeping the safety home and calling run. It did make a difference that play, but
yeah, you
you're
don't
a little
want
less likely to get beat.
Exactly. So yeah, you miss out on some of those straight long gains, but that would have been juicy. Jeff says, "Phew!" I breathes a sigh of relief. Slant to Jason Witten, 1 linebacker coming. Single cover 3-minute zone. Must run for 2 yards. Drew Brees scampers around. That's an unusual must-run card from, only a 5-yard variation from snake eyes to 10. He's not going to be running for many first downs for you, and he's not going to be must-running at all on that box cars is the only opportunity. Brings up a 3rd and 8.
Drive in a row. Paul's facing a big 3rd and long, and the Indies defense came up strong the last time around.
Yeah, and when somebody leads the league in yards per game, that means they're doing a great job on 3rd downs. And we've seen Jeff mix it up with bringing pressure, double teaming. So Paul's got to read and find the right spot open on this defense, because there will be holes when you're that aggressive and you're double teaming. You will leave some holes. There's the deep to CJ Procise. No, not covered. The defender's gone, but there is a 5 free safety in the zone. And it's a dump off for 9 yards. So Paul airs it out, and he was fortunate that the pass rushing matchup was Linval Joseph's 2 against Weston Richburg's 7. That's one of the few advantages that Paul has. He's got a couple 7s there, but the rest of them were kind of shaky. So he wants the left guard or the center being involved in the test. 1st and 10 out to the 36. Screen left to Le'Veon Bell. 4. One man in zone. He gets the wide die 6. Short game for 14 out to midfield.
Not a lot of pass rush team there, particularly for the linebacker position. So I could see why he's not free safety blitzing and stuff on 3rd and long.
Yeah. But, with CJ Prosise in there as the 0 and the 3 and the 2 and the 4, I think I'd bring pressure. I mean, he's got decent pass rush. That 9 versus the 4 matchup will be good, and the 4 versus the 2 will be good if you give it extra help. Pitch out left to Bell. 4 defensive end, nobody in the zone. Guess-Strong picks up 6. So you're living right there when you're getting the 11 rolls on the offensive cards on runs instead of on passes, because he did have at least one guy double team there, maybe 2, and that could have been scary. Is this Kyle Juszczyk territory? Maybe we'll see him involved in the passing game a few more times. 2nd and 4 down to the Indy 44. It's a double team on Juszczyk. So Jeff was thinking the same thing I was, but it's a bomb to Cooks, 0-minute zone, single covered, and it's a dump off 5 yards. Let's see what the pass rush matchup there was. Again, Patrick Omameh.
Pretty remarkable for Jeff to lead the league in defensive yardage with a 4.544 defensive line.
Yeah, great point. So Omameh does the job.
Paul doesn't quite have the run blocking to like. The both coaches seem to be running the ball a good amount, that's for sure.
Yeah, and here we go, off tackle left to Bell. Nobody's in the zone. We got a 4 defensive tackle there. Offensive onside in, +7 or +2, and that's Kyle's job. He takes care of it. 2nd and 3, 1:30 to go in the quarter. Kind of like that. Jeff tied the game. Paul had a chance to move it down, couldn't convert on 3rd down, and Jeff gets the ball back. So, Jeff was at one point down 17-10, punting with about 2 minutes left in the half, and now he's battled back to this where he could be taking the lead. Pitch out left to Bell. It's a guessed wrong. I'm sorry, not Jeff. Paul is about to take the lead. He converted that 3rd down thanks to a dump off. Oh, the dreaded 5. So Paul is looking to regain control here in this game, not Jeff. Just outside field goal range. Let's take a look at their kicker. Vinatieri, I think, is great up to the 32, just like we saw Boswell. But I think he's still okay even out. Yeah, see, his distance kicking is fantastic, 2 through 7 and 12 out to the 37. So Paul's already in field goal range. He'd like to get a little closer. Actually, he'd like to convert this. Blocking back, halfback set against the straight 4-3 with no blitz showing. He picks this up. I bet you'll see Jeff start showing the blitz a little bit more, figuring he has less to lose by giving up a scope. Quick into Kyle Juszczyk. I told you it was Kyle Juszczyk's time. Free safety doubling Bell. We're going to see another big hit. It's big from an impact standpoint, only 5 yards, but that picked up the 1st down and moved those chains. Drew Brees, 21-27 so far today. So again, only 150 yards. He's focusing. We've seen him throw deep a couple times, but he's focusing on those flats, putting the pressure on Indy.
Some of these quarterbacks with the virtually maxed out flat pass right guard just so hard to stop. Sometimes.
Yeah, they would have even double team. That would have been complete. Looks like we're going to be heading into the 4th quarter with the game tied, but Paul knocking on the door. This should be the last play of the quarter. But unlike the NFL, we have no commercial breaks. Off tackle left to Bell. Guess-Strong, 0 him in there. Paul's been getting those 5-6 yard chunks, and there's another 5-yard run. One of these days he's going to hit one of those edges, and that could have a big impact. 15 minutes to go in this game. It's all tied at 17. 2nd and 5 now for the Texans. Off tackle left to Bell. He's calling run now, so he's wary about those edge hits. As well as that avoided a short gain. Nice call there by Jeff. 3rd and 5, and kept him in containment. So, Paul would have been happy just to get +2 or +3. Instead, he's got 3rd and 5. He'll go to his 3 wide set with Procise.
Well, huge play here. You feel like Paul's getting it a touchdown if he converts this.
Yeah, he's about ready to put a stranglehold on this game. But Jeff makes a stand here, and you got to feel great being only down 3 with the ball. Screen left to Procise. 4. It's going to be guessed right with a 4 there. Paul wants it on Breeze's card. Linebacker zone, +4, +1, and Josh Bynes getting picked on today by half man, half Mankiewicz. And that's another first down. Let's look at the box score. He's got to be still over 60% on 3rd down conversions. Indy's at 75%. Houston's at 73%. Damn, I wish I had those kind of 3rd down conversion rates. 1st and 10 at the Colts 16. Bell with Juszczyk blocking for him up front. Pitch out right to Kyle. Guessed wrong. Nobody's there. Only picks up 3. So that's what I say when I say we see Le'Veon Bell. He looks fantastic. He's going to be the highest paid halfback in the game come next year, if he's not already this year. But that card leads. We've all seen better cards guessed wrong in run and off tackle. 2nd and 7 at the 13.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good. He's getting those 5 and 6 yard chunks. You want those, but he's not getting those. A few more short gains or another 20 or 30 yard run. In between. Outside of the edges would be nice. Of course, that Pittsburgh Steelers offense is pretty potent. So they've got to spread the love around. Strat does, so they don't become an unstoppable juggernaut. Got to keep the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Quick slant to Jason Witten. It's a run call. Yes, I'm a little bitter. Those Patriots in the Super Bowl again. There's a 6th linebacker there, so Jeff's hoping for the D card, and it is defender +2 or +5. The defender was Carl Joseph, and he made the play, setting up another huge 3rd down. Maybe that's the reason why the 3rd down conversions are so good, is because for the most part, we've seen a lot of 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. We have seen a few 3rd and 8s, 3rd and not 10s, but Paul's offense and Jeff's is setting up manageable 3rd downs, which they're converting.
So huge here, touchdown versus field goal.
Definitely. And we've seen Paul go to Procise to that left flat, trying to pick on Josh Bynes or throw it to one of the other receivers to where Josh Bynes is. Look for Jeff to get a little bit frustrated here and drop that free safety down, which should open up the other flats or the short pass for Breeze, who's due to hit one of those. 3rd and 5. No blitz, though. Not putting the pressure on the process.
Seems like he has not flooded to cover that 4 that much since I've been watching.
Yeah, but you keep getting burned over and over again. It's gonna eventually stick. I'd be surprised if he doesn't have 2 men in the zone on this play. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I would think that normally, here it looks a little obvious, but normally you would flood the flat a little more aggressively than he has if you're going 6-6-4.
He doesn't. He double teams the tight end, and that's exactly where this ball's going. So great job by Jeff. Not listening to me. Oh no, it wasn't double cover. It was single cover. Guessed right. Why didn't it look like the free safety was over the tight end?
It did, but the verbiage in the game said
No, I forgot. He leaves Witten at tight end, and he brings in Cook as the blocking back fullback in that set. So he was throwing to the guy out of the backfield. So
I think he either threw it to a Nunwa or Nunwa was double teamed. Was what the in-game text said.
Oh, I thought it was going to Cook. Maybe I'm off there. But either way,
one was a Nunwa, one was Cook. I don't remember who was who. One was double teamed and one was being thrown the ball.
Sounds good. So they got the lead, and Indy has to feel good about stopping them on that crucial third down. So here we go. Indy, can they move the ball? Can they put a drive together with 11:42 left? Curl to Sterling Shepard. Single cover guarded by a 4. Plus 14. So he's looking to open it up a little bit. David Johnson's down to 11 on 15 carries, so still plenty of carries. Johnson's got those big hits on the edges, end run and off tackle, and line buck even. So you can run to all 3 zones. Lots of short gains in there too. And he's been going after the end run spots with Paul's 4 defensive ends. It's a quick out right to Kelsey as Paul calls run. And there's a 5 there, but he makes the play. Defender -4 or plus or -2. That was actually Cam Chancellor that made the play since it was going to the tight end. And his 5 rating did great. Even if it wouldn't have made the play, you still would have lost 2 yards. So 2nd and 14, 10:30 to go in the 4th quarter. So, Tom, I'm not sure if you're able to, but I've got to go home and meet the plumber. Would you be able to take over in about 5 minutes? Tom's off doing something. So I'll ask him when he gets back. 2nd and 14.
Yeah, I can. I can. Let me know when you need to go.
Okay. I'll go after this drive. Crossing pattern to DeSean Jackson. Free safety double teaming elsewhere. It's a dump off for 10 yards. That 2nd and 14 is now a manageable 3rd and 4. David Johnson, the recipient of that pass. He's got 6 catches so far for 59 yards. So let's see what Jeff can do here on this 3rd down. Bomb to DeSean Jackson. Guarded by a 4. No men in zone. This could be huge. Oh, he misses it. He would have loved to have a receiver reading on the D cards on that 6. But he also avoided the pick. So he thought Paul would call run there, catch him, but Paul was not fooled. Although he did leave himself exposed at the back. 40-yard punt down to the 5-yard line. So let me leave it to you. I'm going to take your screen and present it to everyone. So are you sharing your screen, bud?
I need 1 minute.
Okay. So I'll take it back for a minute. So Paul needs to take this ball, drive down, and get a touchdown and kill the Colts' comeback chances because there'll be very little time left. He could take up like 6-7 minutes on this drive, open up a 2-score game by getting a touchdown, and pretty much end it. On the other hand, the Colts love that they're pinned at their own 5, and they'll be looking to turn this over quickly and make it a 3 and out.
All right, I can take over.
Okay, I'm going to send it to you. And
I am screen sharing and presenting to everyone. Is what it looks like here.
Yep, looks good.
Okay, and I gotta set my game up a little bit.
Okay, so 2nd and 6 here, 8:42 to go. This is where the rubber hits the road and where I have to go meet a plumber. So
good, Dennis.
All right, man. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Sure, I got the game after this. All right. So we got 2nd and 6 here. 8:42 to go in the game. Texans leading the Colts 20-17. Everyone left Le'Veon Bell. Defense double teaming Le'Veon Bell. Because I feel a little off taking over the middle of the game. Not the middle, but the end. I'm the closer. I just got the job. I think I'm filling the Rob Dibble role. Got to get it done in the 9th inning here. Oh, a little slow clicking here. Looks like by the participants, unless there's something wrong on my end, or did Dennis drop out of the game, or is my no play animation thing causing me to miss action? No, something happened. We got +5 Olivia and Bell. I'm wrong. I'll try to turn my animation back on. Sometimes when you call the game or you watch the game with the animation on, you miss plays. I'm not sure that happens when you're playing as well. But of course, this is a big spot in a playoff game. 8 minutes to go. You have only a field goal lead. You're on 14, 3rd and 1. So people are going to take on, of course. I play about as slow as anybody. The league's probably slower. I probably play slower than anyone in the SOMIFA family of leagues. And part of it's my disability. Part of it, though, is I kind of take my time and think about what I'm doing. Because I used to play very, very quickly with the same exact disability. So it's probably a little bit more than that. 3rd and 1 for the Texans now at their own 14. From what I've not watched the entire game from the beginning to now, but I've watched and listened to a fair amount of it. And I think that you've got, I think Paul did a very nice job picking the right flats to throw to and picking the right people to throw to and avoiding flooded zones and things like that. We saw it last possession. He threw the looking pass, no men, down towards the red zone. So this is a huge play. Looks like the Colts might be taking their time here. Our defense called pass. Jeff blitzed linebacker and flooded the flat where that 4 is. And defensive end +11, +47 is only a 4. White die 5, I'm sure. Robert Quinn could not make the play. In past years, yes. Le'Veon Bell capped at 44 yards. Paul will take it. You can keep the extra 3. He's got a 1st and 10 at the Colts 42. Flipping the field position there on Jeff Wunlett. But it's still only a field goal lead. And you have to know that Paul's thinking, yes, I want to get down close. Yes, I want to get more points. But, Lord, I want to get a touchdown. And kind of, because you get down here, you kick a field goal, then you get pretty nervous trying to play some defense for the last 5 minutes of the game when your opponent needs a touchdown. Of course, Paul, as experienced as anybody, been playing the game for decades. Flat pass left, Brandon Marshall. Again, not flooding that zone. You know, if you're going to double team Cooks, why not use the free safety? Because he's not throwing deep to anybody else. If you're going to double team someone else, you might not want to use the free safety because you don't want to give Cooks the long pass 0 men. But his bombs have opened to Cooks. I don't think. And look at these other matchups: Brandon Marshall versus 6, Jason Witten versus 5. I don't think you're going to see a long pass to one of those other guys. And you don't want to leave that left flat open. He's throwing flats, and he's also throwing a juice chick. So Jeff should do a free safety double team if it's going to be Cooks, the target of the double team. 2nd and 3 for the Texans at the Colts 35. Looking past Le'Veon Bell against short yardage, 10 yards in the 1st down. And Paul with 1st and 10 at the Colts 25, certainly thinking touchdown right now. Jeff's got to find some defensive magic. He held Paul to a field goal last time. He played excellent defense all season. Looking past the Le'Veon Bell, defense double teaming elsewhere, but that 6 middle linebacker is there. That is Bobby Wagner, as Dennis has said. Back in zone, Bobby Wagner, the All-Pro, makes the play. 2nd and 9. Second and 9, Texans at the Colts 24. I'm calling the 8 o'clock game. I was about to eat something, Dennis, before I called the broadcast. So, but that's okay. Well, I should have time to squeeze it in. Did you get my text? My last text? Yeah. I'm broadcasting for Dennis right now, so I'll call you in like 10 minutes. 2nd and 9, Emerald left to Le'Veon Bell. Defense calling pass 7, and Bell's card is a 6-yard gain, just in between the short gains. 3rd and 3. We've had 3rd and 5, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. A lot of this from the Texans here in the second half, and they seemingly have been converting every time. Dennis points out Paul putting himself in good down and distance situations here on third down. But you just need one, bad roll. Dreaded 5, interception split, 4 makes a play, and you force him to punt it or kick a field goal. Obviously, here we're looking at a field goal. I think that's what's going to happen. Maybe not this play, but somewhere in this next 18 yards, I think Paul's going to be stopped, going to kick a field goal. We're going to have the Colts trying to come down for a go-ahead touchdown. And with left Le'Veon Bell, defense calls pass. He keeps giving him this right and 4. I think he's covering his 4s on the outside well enough this game. And defensive end -2 or +3 did not make the play. He's a 4, 5 in the white die, 3-yard gain. If he had brought a linebacker or a safety in there, it would have been only 2 yards of the linebacker 4. And then this free safety is a 54 of Ricardo Allen. He also would not have made the play, but you would have had a 4th and 1. Now you're down to 4.5 minutes left in the game. And Paul's got 1st and 10 to 15. He's thinking touchdown. Breeze does not throw many picks at all. Off tackle left, Le'Veon Bell. Defense guesses wrong. Doubling on the receivers. Dreaded 5, no gain. 2nd and 10. Bell evidently having the big game. 23 carries, 161. Yeah, that's a big game, I would say. 2nd down and 10. Bell only 4 carries from fatigue, but you don't see too often. Jeff getting fatigued of watching Bell do well. Off tackle left to Bell. Defense calls run correctly. Only a 4 defensive tackle, but Paul lacks good run blocking. And +6 on Bell's code. Guess right. Dennis talked about Bell's code not being as good as you think for his NFL reputation, but the guess right off tackle column is very nice here. 3rd and 4 for the Texans at the Colts 9. Texans at home, so the Colts have got the average pass defense. We're all leery of the short pass 4-man non-interception down inside the 20 and certainly inside the 10. Breeze doesn't really throw him. Touchdown virtually wins the game. Full house backfield. You don't have the greatest run blocking. Might see a short pass here. See if I hit it, I'm in. I'm not sure what these linebacker run ratings look like. Bobby Wagner's a 66. Sean Lee's a 65. Josh Bynes a 44. Both defensive ends of force. Mike Tolbert's the fullback. Le'Veon Bell's covered by Paul should put Theo Riddick at halfback and Le'Veon Bell a flanker if Theo has the better receiving card. Unless he wants to trick him into maybe double teaming Bell. He's going to throw to Riddick against the 5. Short pass Theo Riddick or Jason Witten could be the play. Short pass Le'Veon Bell covered by the 4. Defense calls pass. Only 3 men there. This is a huge play. This will almost certainly advance ball. 7 touchdown. Drew Brees. Probably right, wrong, and double teamed. I can't click right now on that. 3rd and 4 from the 9. Paul comes down with the beautiful drive. Powered by a 44-yard run by Le'Veon Bell, beating Robert Gwynn, who's had a tough second half here that was right, wrong, and double teamed. Jeff says he needed a sack there. Yes, that's right, because the double team would have even been ineffective. And the Colts are up against it big time now. Drew Brees, how often do you see this? 27 of 33, 185. So the flat pass has been the play du jour for the Texans. And then he's had a good game. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. 11 receptions, 54 yards for Le'Veon Bell. But the Texans got the lead 27-17. I don't know what is back there for this Indianapolis return game. With all these kicks deep into the end zone, it doesn't seem like there's that many great kick return opportunities nowadays. And this is certainly not a great one. Fitzgerald Toussaint, 9 yards deep at the end zone. That's a touchback. 1st and 10, Colts to their own 25. Got Chris Boswell kicks good out to the 32. Maybe when I get to the 30, kick a field goal, and then try the onside kick. Depends on how close you, how deep you penetrate past the 30. You need 2 scores. You're probably only going to need an onside kick. Long pass, Brandon LaFell, 2-minute zone. Paul standing around. 2 blitzes in. 7 incomplete on the offense. Would have been picked up on the defense. 9 units of completion there. Just missed the long gain. Paul blitzing 2, so even the fly pass is going to be guessed right unless he throws it to a back who's uncovered. And then you look at that, 10, 13, 15-yard chunks and taking up time on the clock. Looking past Deshaun Jackson. It's going to be guessed right. So he probably should have thrown to David Johnson. You get a 5-yard completion either way on Rivers' card. Gives you 3rd and 5. And the clock is rapidly approaching 2 minutes. 2:06 to go. Now, the clock's going to stop after this, so a looking pass isn't that big of a problem. Paul knows that. Maybe move a safety up and drop a defender back. So maybe throw a short pass to Sterling Shepard or someone. See if that does something for you. The secondary is weak for Paul, but when you're up by 10 with 2:06 to go, it looks a lot stronger as you sit back in your dime. Short pass to Deshaun Jackson. Be double teamed by the outside linebacker. So you can still get a guess right on the receiver. You get a dump off instead for 6 yards and a first down. My voice already slightly raspy, and I've got a game to call kicking off in under an hour. That'll be Green Bay at Cincinnati. Ron Dickinson versus Jay Villing. That'll be the last game in the wild card round as we set up the SOMIFA quarterfinals in this highly competitive, extremely well-coached Stratomatic Football League. Colts at their own 36. You need 34 yards to get to the 30-yard line. So make it 35 yards to get to the 29. Try to get rid of your variable. Make a field goal. Get an onside kick. Short pass, Brandon Fell. Being double teamed by the linebacker. Also tricky. How about a flat pass wrong to David Johnson? He's double teaming with the outside linebacker. He's done it a couple of plays. But Paul's tricky. You can't tell yourself, well, Paul's done it 2 of the last 3 times. He's going to do it again. That's when you get stuck throwing at a 6 with 1:52 to go with a guy in the zone. With that, short pass Mohamed Sanu, flat pass Johnson still would have been in play. 2 blitzes on, 4-man back. Receiver gets right, incomplete. That would have been a flat pass. Receiver gets wrong on it too, and David Johnson. I might have liked that result. 23 yards. 3rd and 10. How about a flat pass left to David Johnson? Throw it to 5. You might leave the 6 there for downfield coverage. He's going to do something with that 5 probably. At least try to get yourself into a makeable 4th down. Or maybe hit a 10-plus yard completion on right or wrong on Johnson's card. Short pass to Deshaun Jackson. And it's complete for 12 yards and a first down at Rivers' card. Would have been something worse than that on a flat pass. Indy up at their own 48. Trying to save his timeouts, I think, in case he doesn't recover the onside kick and someone miraculously get the ball back with 3 timeouts on a punt return and throw a Hail Mary or something. You got to be thinking about 19 yards here, 18 yards. Get to the 30, kick a field goal. Throw a flat pass to David Johnson, please. That time, Paul stayed home with the linebackers. 1 pass to Deshaun Jackson, covered by 4. 6 incomplete. The 4 doesn't matter, of course. 2 men in the zone. Back in the dime. There is a time for everything in your strat play calling, and this is certainly a time to stand back there and do nothing. Short pass to Deshaun Jackson, 2nd and 10. Paul waiting for a sack. Dump off for 7 yards. Dump off will soon no longer be with us. I think it's the last 30 seconds of the game. 3rd and 3, Colts at the Texan 45. Hurry up offense, get you down to 52 seconds, and that's the way he goes. Needs about 15 yards to try a field goal, set up an onside kick. This is a tricky spot for the offense now. I would throw a short pass here because Paul might leave those guys home. Looking pass. He's thrown to Deshaun Jackson. Throw to David Johnson. All right. It's complete for 5 yards. Gets right. First down. Runs. He may have to call a timeout here or spike the ball. He calls his first timeout. Now he has to recover the onside kick. Maybe he should be thinking touchdown then. Easier to set up a long field goal. Probably maybe a first down long pass. Hope you hit that 809. Short pass to Shepard. Foreman there. Ball going for that 3-man line. It's complete for 14 yards at a first down to the 26. Now you have the option: do I try the field goal 2-10, or do I keep going for a touchdown? It's a tough call. Probably kick the field goal. Probably I don't know. Maybe throw a bomb and then kick the field goal. Short pass Brandon LaFell. That forward had been picked off on a bomb in the previous play when I was calling for a bomb. That's incomplete with the 4-man 2nd and 10. At the 26. I'd probably kick a field goal. Kick the field goal right now. Then do your onside kick. Trip at Brandon LaFell. There comes the sack, and now you're out of field goal range. 3rd and 18. And you got to call a timeout. You're down 10. Sometimes you got to think about that. You know, depending on the time left and where the ball is and the quality of your kicker, is it worth it to try a field goal first sometimes? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it isn't. 3rd and 18. Rivers has 8 and 9 complete long pass right, so that's what you got to do. So I was looking again to Deshaun Jackson. Throw it to Johnson. It was the extra blocker, but receiver guessed right, incomplete. I guarantee that was at least 12 yards in Dave Johnson's guard. 14 yards. Even 11 guessed right. Now you'd be kicking a field goal. Still have your onside kick. Still be alive. Instead, you got 4th and 18 for Phillip Rivers. He's blitzed that right outside linebacker who's like a 12 with an asterisk. Long pass to Deshaun Jackson. He's the 809 of Rivers card. He gets a 6 to complete the defense. That's the game. 8 seconds left. The Houston Texans, half man, half Mankiewicz. Once again, victorious in the postseason. Jeff Fleming, it was a good game. Jeff Fleming played very well. From when I saw, both guys played well. Tough matchup. Paul's offense got the job done with the big runs from Le'Veon Bell. And Paul advances. Who was the winner the other night? That was Minnesota. So we have the 7 and 8 seed advancing so far. And we have a 6 versus 11 matchup coming up. Dennis might be facing these Texans. Better him than me. I do not like this. My matchup against this Texans team. They beat me 17-3 the regular season, and going into the game, I didn't like the matchup for my offense. But a real good playoff game. Excellent playoff game. Absolutely. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to end the broadcast now because I've got to start calling a game in about 40 minutes. I want to eat first. So congratulations to Paul. Nice job by Jeff for the entire season. And Mankiewicz advances. Dale Ripley advances. Either Ron Dickinson or Jay Villing will advance. It's Green Bay Cincinnati coming to you at the top of the hour. And then awaiting those gentlemen, game, which is, I think, Nathan against Tennessee, perhaps. That should be a good one with some offensive fireworks. Yeah, you got Atlanta, Tennessee. My goodness. Nathan's got Kirk Cousins, LaShawn McCoy, a whole bunch of good receiving targets. Big Ben and Lamar Miller and Antonio Brown. The 4-5 game is always a really good game. And then you got the wild card teams visiting San Diego, Tom Brady, Seattle with Dennis and Russell Wilson, and yours truly with Andrew Luck. So some good playoff action coming up tonight and beyond. All right, guys, I'm going to log off. Have a great day. Great night. Bye-bye.
I want you to really earn those $100, especially the